He searched for danger. He wanted to beat the odds. He created a special fire suit and a steel-reinforced tow bar to have the alcohol-powered dragster drag him across the racetrack.
He had a full leather suit on. He also had this titanium breastplate so that he could slide along the asphalt and go right along beside, directly connected with the dragster.
Josh Morton was the producer of Baily's stunt. His biggest fear was that something could go wrong with the funny car. If the driver lost control, Baily would be sucked underneath the car. If the car blew an engine, the engine and body would explode like shrapnel backward into the face of Baily. But this stunt went exactly as planned. Once top speed of 165 miles an hour was reached, Baily simply let go of the tow bar. A parachute fastened to his titanium suit opened, and Baily skidded to a stop. The crowd at the Orange County Raceway was amazed and thrilled at this death-defying stunt. But Jim Baily was just getting started. He wanted more.
A couple of months later, Jim calls me up and says, "I've got a new one. He said, I want to do a fire tunnel."
Baily wanted to go 300 feet, and just to make sure that no one would question the new record, he had Josh Morton build it 6 feet longer, 306 feet, more than double the current world record.
The danger is, of course, that you get hung up in the tunnel and then you suffocate.
Baily used the same funny car driver. At 80 miles an hour, he would release from the specially designed tow bar, slide through the tunnel of fire, and then 306 feet later, an estimated 11 to 12 seconds in actual time, he would emerge from the other end of the blaze.
But he lined himself up. At the last moment, he saw that he was heading in slightly skewed. So he corrected himself and kind of threw himself into the tunnel. And in fact, 2/3 of the way through the tunnel, he did end up sideways. And when he came out the tunnel, he was spinning and rolling. So it was by no means an easy feat. He pulled it off, is what he did. And he came rolling out the end. And he had a successful stunt. He had his world record.
The moment this unbelievable stunt was accomplished, Baily still wanted more. He wanted to go faster. He longed for speed. Before the film crew could edit together this world record stunt, Baily flew to Hawaii to attempt the impossible.
And having done the funny car, and having done the world record fire tunnel, now he was ready to take to the air. And he cooked up this gag whereby he was attached to the undercarriage of the plane. He had a glider hitch release mechanism so that he could be released from the plane. He was attached by an eye hook and the glider hitch to the bottom of the plane because he weighed a lot. I mean, he weighed, let's say, 250 to 300 pounds. So he had to have something supporting him underneath the plane. He took off with the plane. He circled around, did some lazy, kind of loops near the airport. And then he came back in for a landing, and he touched ground. He hit the glider release, at which point he was freed up from the plane and could continue to skid on his own, and then the plane continued and took off again.
But Jim Baily had gone to Hawaii without his producer, Josh Morton, without his stunt coordinator, without a professional camera crew. When he had successfully performed this stunt, he watched the video playback and it looked very ordinary. He did not have proper camera coverage. Jim Baily had to do it again.
I believe that he did it 4 times to get 4 different camera angles. And that's something you want to avoid doing, particularly with a tricky and dangerous stunt like that. The touch and go thing is very tricky, very, very dicey. And therefore, I would have been very hesitant to do it, but that wasn't Jim's style. So the last time that he went up, he had finally had the key realized that the key shot was to have the shot where the camera's mounted on underneath the wing, looking right at Jim Baily underneath the aircraft. So here we are. This is the one that's going to really, the money shot. It's going to pay it off.
Jim Baily tried cheating death 1 time too many.